Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Farah Suraya as the CEO of Opus Foragers team. I would like to start our group's presentation with the Bookit project introduction. Being a bookworm in the world pandemic can sometimes be a problem as many of us find it hard to keep track of the books we want. Some of us are having difficulties in finding available reading materials, thus it causes a problem to discover new books and authentic references among researchers. Keeping track of the borrowed book is sometimes can be troublesome. In return, many of us forgot the deadline to return the library's book, and time consuming to complete our workloads will increase when the searching engine is dragging and complicated. Next, we will move to the next slide, which is users data collection method, which will be represented by Ms. Nur Alisa.
Thank you, Ms. Faraswaya. Hi, my name is Alisa binti Muhammad Ali, and I am the software engineer for our team, which is Opus Foragers. So, for my part, I will explain on what method we use to collect users' data. As for our team, Opus Foragers, we decided to use questionnaire method, which is why we choose to use Google Form for the respondents to fill in the data. We got 35 respondents in total, and the respondents we choose to fill in the form is among UNISA students. For the next part, which is requirement gathering and analysis, I will let Ms. Hanim to explain furthermore.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nur Ashami binti Abrahman as the project manager. I will be explaining the requirement gathering and analysis. Alright, based on the data we have received from all 35 respondents, most of them are 20 years old, followed by 26% of them are 26 years old, 25.7% of them is 22 years old, 20% are 21 years old, and the remaining is 24 years old. Note that all of them are students. From the result, we found out that most of them prefer library as the domain place to search for books. As you can see in the pie chart, the 80% of them choose the library, 17.1% choose the bookstore, while the last 2.9% prefer the internet. We include the question to ask them if they are having problems searching for books. Surprisingly, most of them say yes, and the estimate time takes for them to search the book is between 1 to 2 hours. Based on the result, we conclude that the user has no other method such as to search book other than manually searching for them. Moreover, the library is too far from where they live. And lastly, some of the bookstore or library don't have the book they want. For the facilities, we give the option by sorting books by genre, title, price, and author. Most of them choose to sort based on all the options, followed by genre, then title, and lastly price. So we will have Suraya to explain the problem and solution overview.
Thank you, Hanim. I am Nurhani Suraya binti Zamri and I am the HMI expert of this project. I will explain about the problem and the solution for this project. After we do a deeper data analysis as explained by Hanim, we can summarize the main or common problems among the users. The first problem is searching often takes too much time. For example, the visitor of the library usually spend most of their time on finding the books rather than reading the book itself. It is because sometimes the books is not labeled or maybe the label has been lost in the meantime. The visitor of the bookstore also complain that they do not have much time to search the book they want. At the end, they will end up search for the book for minutes or maybe going home empty-handed because they do not have much time. The next problem is difficulties in finding authentic readings. This will make users feel really frustrated. Another common problem is availability issues. The chance of going back with empty hands is really high if we go to the library without knowing the availability of the books. Same goes if we visit the bookstores. The customers just come to the bookstores without any confirmation that the stock of the book is still available or not. Furthermore, another difficulty the users have faced is budget exceed than expected. For instance, the customers of the bookstore shared that usually the budget they have set for the book expense is always exceeded. It is because they don't know the exact price of certain books. Besides, they also don't know where to check the price before they come to the bookstores to buy the book. Last but not least, users also have problems with borrowing and returning the books. For example, the borrower also stated that they often get fined by the librarian because of the lateness in returning the books. They said they forget the exact day of returning the book, and by that they took a long time to finish reading the book. Despite facing various problems, we promise Bookit apps will help users to solve the problems and get more useful features from it. Bookit app can help users save their time because this app provides search engine which sorting all the books price authors according to the alphabetical order and helps to locate the book's eyes. Bookit also allow users to access camera and photos so they can easily find their desired book by a tap. Next, Bookit provides all the details of the books. Bookit uses the features of scanning the QR code of the books to exhibit all the details. Next, with Bookit, the users will never have to worry about the availability issues because we will always keep update it. Moreover, we are very sure by using Bookit, the users will never expend more than their budget because each book in Bookit shows a subtotal to help users adjust their list to stay within budget. Lastly, with Bookit, borrowing and returning books are not a problem anymore. This process can be done online by filling the form on the app. The users also can set reminder for the date of returning book. Hence, there is no way they can forget about it. Next, I will let Alisa to explain about the design evolution.
Thank you, Ms. Raya, for her explanation. Okay, so for the next part, I will explain about the design evaluation, which decide to choose formative evaluation. Okay, so I will explain the first evaluation that happened to our apps, which is the welcome screen and login screen. Okay, first, when we want to build these apps, we decided to make a main homepage when the user first visit our apps. But shortly after we discussed about it, we figured out that it is more appropriate to have a welcome screen for the first time user, which is you can see that welcome screen on the slide. Okay, and also we changed the login button into a new interface that also included registration for the first time user. Okay, for the second evaluation, which is the main homepage. Okay, as for the main homepage, we plan to make the interface just like the first idea on the slide. Okay, but same as before, we discussed about it a little, and we decided to make a proper interface, which is why we decided to do it the same with the after evaluation, which you can see on the slide. Okay, we made it more organized by making the choices become nicer. Okay, why we decided to make the choices become nicer? Because it will help the user to adapt faster with our apps. Okay, for the last evaluation that happened to our apps is reminder for returning book. As for this section, at first we designed it with the expiration manager button. Okay, but after that we kind of think that the user might be confused with so many buttons. So we come up again with an idea to put this function into Bookit lead section. Also, why we decide to do this kind of function because we got the feedback from the respondents that they often forgot about the exact date of returning the books. So, for the next part, which is the last part for our presentation, high fidelity prototype description, I will let Ms. Farasraya explain further about it.
Thank you to Ms. Nur Adisa for the clear explanations of Bookit's design evolution. Now we will move to our final part of Bookit's project presentation, which is Bookit's high fidelity prototype description. Bookit is an application that helps book lovers or bookworms to find their reading material easily. Bookit functions as book sorter or organizer, depend on the book availability, book titles, and the author for the nearby bookstores and especially for all libraries in University Sultan Zainal Abidin campuses. We discovered some students from UNISA found it is hard to go through and search the book at every bookshelf in library or go to nearby bookstores to find their reading material for studies or research purposes. For the high-fidelity prototype, the first thing the user will encounter is the welcome screen. After that, the apps will bring the user to login screen. In this part, for the first-time user, they will need to register an account. As for the user with an account already, they just need to log in. Next, the apps will bring the user to our main homepage. Here, they can decide what kind of service they want from us. Either it is Bookit Lib or Bookit Store. I guess that is all from me and my Opus Foragers team regarding the Bookit's project presentation. Thank you.